What you know is how you feel around me. What you know is that feeling you got as I progressed growing up. And so you believe that that feeling would always be the same. And it won't. There's a beginning and end for everything. People change when they want to. You don't have to change until you die. But there's an end for everything. When your eyes go closed, everyone will know the truth. Everyone has their own apocalypse. Fear what? You could be as far in the dark as you want. More power to you. That's your path. You wouldn't be a Satanist. It's whatever. I'm not down on them either. If you think about it, all facets of life have its own revolution, its own cycle, its own rhythm. You know? There would be no Satanists if there were no Christians. There wouldn't. You know, there'd be no Christians if there were no Jews. And Romans. And Greeks. I mean, it's a mix. It's a mix of things. Egyptians. The Bible has all that in there. Amen? Like, look where these things originated. You know? And it's supposed to be all in agreement. Or something like that. And these words, that was Egyptian. But, you know, when you want to see, you will see. If you don't want to see, I don't blame you. I did very much so not want to see demons and stuff. But the thing was, I was already imagining them anytime the light was off. And I was by myself, which I hated doing. Just scared. I scared of myself. Scared myself shitless sometimes. If I was the only one in the apartment when I was, had roommates, they were working late and I was the only one there, all the fucking lights were on, all of them. And I tried to smoke to put myself to sleep, got sleepy, but I couldn't have the lights off. And the light was keeping me on, so I was like, fuck it, I'm going to play this game, I need to stay up. I'm going to wait till someone else get here. I don't need them in the room with me, of course. Tuck me in or no bullshit like that. It's just someone being there. I felt a presence that wasn't, my imagination. It wasn't trying to harm me in my perception. And that was good enough for me. It was good. You don't need to say anything. You just be. And I felt it. So. Oh, man. So, life is a journey, and that's all there is. Like I said, life is a journey, and that's all there is. Death is life. Death comes first, and it's a part of life. A part. Together. Not a coin. They're not a flip of the coin, what you're going to get. No. It's all together. You gotta die first before you live. And I thought to a Matrix when I was going through this too. Neo, when he died, he became the one. The second one, he had a lot of resistance, and what happened? Oh, it went crazy, right? We've got this virus that's going all over the place. He's consuming everything. Well, this negativity is building up. Why? Because we live in a world of contrast. Now, to have contrast, it needs to be equal to. So him being the one was equal to Smith taking on the matrix itself. That's how powerful it is to be positive. To be positive was equal to everyone in the matrix being turned into an agent, a virus, Agent Smith. Not even a really agent at that point, more so a virus. That's how negative he grown beyond the control of the matrix. He was just a virus. And so when he fought in the last one, he fought with his, everything he got. He saw that he wasn't going to win, but it was his choice. I choose to fight. Why do you persist? You see, that's more than just the negativity talking. Everything works for us. And then what he says, the same thing the Oracle was saying, everything that has a beginning has an end. Everything. And what does Neo do? He remembers, he gets up, and he just stands. He just accepts it. He got turned. Is it over? I accept it all. And then light, and then everything. Balance. Why? Because he accepted him as being himself. He accepted this negativity. He accepted that it was inevitable from the beginning. So I got to get back on the road because, I'm still about 5 hours away from home. I called my wife and we were talking. I'm like 40 minutes on the phone in this rest area. But driving here, I felt, inner knowing that I should stop. I'm like, stop? I got a lot of ground to cover. I got 350 miles almost to cover. Stop. Pull over. It's like, can I get some gas first? I'm at a quarter tank. Can I get some gas? Pull over. I pull in this rest stop. Didn't even get out the car. Laid my head in the sun for a little bit and put this video on to make it. I want to have this, and I might upload it. I might not. But if I do, I want it to reach, whoever's a match to it will find it. And whoever has a negative comment they want to say, I embrace it. Say what you will. Do I like, people not understanding me? No, I don't like it, but you gotta accept it. No one's gonna always accept you. There's some times where we don't even accept ourselves. Actually, it's more so than other people not accepting us, is that we don't accept ourselves. So why be mad at someone not accepting you? Be compassionate and know that there are times when you didn't even accept yourself. Love them, because there are times when you didn't even love yourself. Trust the process of life itself, the journey, because there are times when you didn't trust yourself. And one of the staff members said something that really rang to me. It's like, whatever your mind creates, it will confirm. And in your experience, if you feel that to be true, then you got some inner work to do. Change your thought patterns. And then, how do I change my thought patterns? And there you go. Now there's endless amount we can learn. Okay? We don't have to do it all in this lifetime. And, a lot of people might say, well, we die after getting this knowing, and we go, and how do we're going to forget anyway if we come back. So how is this going to help then? Like, you're right. But your subconscious never forgets. Never forgets unless you want to erase something. So, on a spiritual plane, the non-physical plane, I'm sure there are ways to learn more, to be able to retain. So when you are able to tap into it again, it seems so familiar. So familiar. You just be. There's a lot I want to get into now. And the funny thing is, I was already into it. It's just with this, I had a feeling. I had an experience. So it's better than just studying. Studying was very important. Very important. I looked as a reference, the prophets, they studied Jesus. They looked at him. They were with him, And when it was time for them to face their demons, they said, I am not ignorant to your ways. I'm not ignorant. What does that mean? That means it means that they knew. They had studied. So when they experienced, they did not fall dumbfounded, afraid, and tormented. And then what happened? Then they were boldly speaking about everything. Why? Why? Because there's nothing left to fear. Once you get over your fear of death and demons, what else keeps you back? It's a big part of the illusion. People hoard their money because they're afraid of dying. They feel that the only way they can live forever is if they have a long legacy with wealth. And it's always in the blood and, the name. Bullshit. You die, you can't take anything from you. One of the things they said again that made me laugh is, you can't take money with you when you die. The Egyptians tried and all they got was robbed. I think that was Denzel Washington, one of his speeches. Egyptians tried and all they got was robbed. You can't take money with you. I mean, think about it. What need is a physical thing on a non-physical plane? Now, going non-physical isn't for everyone. I'm encouraging those who feel that they're a match to journeying non-physically within themselves. I am empowerment to you, more power to you, and by any means possible. If it's natural, if you're doing drugs like certain pharmaceuticals, you gotta just study. I'm not gonna tell you what to do or what you shouldn't do, but really think on the path you want to be on, and then study and seek the route to get there. That is all. If you start out on pharmaceuticals, we all have a starting point. We all do. Start from where you are. That's the best place. If where you are is no belief, then fine. Hold on to that. Hold on to that nothingness. If you believe there's nothingness when you die, hold on to it. There's nothingness. There's nothingness. Nothingness. And even in the nothingness, there's something. And what is that something? There's something that's aware of the nothingness. So that nothingness is actually something. But what is this awareness? That's you. You are awareness. The Creator is the ultimate awareness that created this physical reality that we may feel and be aware of ourselves. Again, let me get back on this road. I know I got a lot to travel, but listen to your inner self. Even when you don't want to. Why? Why should, I just took this stuff and I'm already asking myself why. Why I gotta stop? You know why when you pull over. Just do what I say. Trust that I got your back. Did we not journey together? I got your back. What's trying to hurt you? Nothing. I look back at the demons, they weren't trying to kill me. They were nudging me, they were fucking with me. But why? And point me in the right direction. To let me know that I didn't want to be there. I didn't want to be tormented. Oh, but you said that you didn't want to before. Yeah, I didn't before. But obviously I did because I was still tormenting myself. And that all let me hear the why. And now I got more whys, and now I'm coming up with more whats. So it's a journey. It is the journey. And just be open to everything. If you believe that God is love and God is within you and God loves you, God, in the Bible it says God does not judge. And it says God leaves judgment to the Son. What does that mean? Jewish people said the Son is an extension of us, so we're extensions of God. Jesus said, I'm a son of man, and I'm a son of God, and so are you. I believe that. I believe that so much that I went out to try some tea that was going to give me a near-death experience. Quite literally. I got so dehydrated because I didn't want to be filled with nothing. I didn't want to be grounded. I wanted I wanted that intent to break through. All I had in my stomach was ayahuasca and a tiny bit of water. I put it in the cup to mix around the chunks at the bottom. That is it. And breathing in the journey. I wanted to be everything cut loose because I knew my heart. My heart is loving. My heart wants to help, because I've had situations in my life where I was offered alternatives, and it's always a selfless choice that I would make, so I knew my heart, but my mind was so distorted. It's a long video. I might be the only one to watch it, but you know what? It's a good reminder for me too. We all fall apart. We all fall astray. And, how else would we know what togetherness is, or, what being aligned is? You wouldn't. You would just be. You just be. What is God? God is God. Ultimate awareness. He's aware of your awareness. That's how aware he is. Yeah. I'm not here to answer everyone's questions. I'm not even here to have all my questions answered. If it's for me to know, I will know. I'll be drawn to seek. I had to get over that. A lot of people are able to do crazy things. I look on YouTube, people are biting bananas and spitting out diamonds. I'm like, what? I saw one guy put his hand over a piece of paper, and I guess some kind of energy working. He lit the paper on fire. I mean, that's some cool shit. I want to learn that. Is it for me to know? We all are uniquely the same. We all have our own attributes. And we all have the same potential. And the base of us is love. That's the answer to everything. How do I know this? I experienced it. Stands for everything. If you don't know the universal laws, the law of attraction, the law of nature, the law, the 10 Commandments, the law of the Torah handed down by Moses, the law of the Constitution, the law of all these amendments and Bill of Rights and shit that gets changed all the time because laws makes laws that, get rid of other laws. And no, you don't need to get into all that. Love, compassion, gratitude. You do those things, and it's impossible. It's impossible to not have it come back towards you, amplified. I'm not saying that you're going to give love and compassion and gratitude, and there's going to be people accepting it willingly, or accepting, a changed you, or accepting what you're trying to offer. But then you have to love and have compassion for that person, because look within yourself. If there's ever a time where you didn't want to accept something, were you just angry, you didn't want the love, or you didn't want to be talked down, you wanted what you wanted in that moment. If you had moments like that, then you relate, and it's not them, it is you, and you love yourself, so love them, have compassion, and be grateful for the contrast. Because they show you this displeasure, because they show you this, them not wanting you around, them not understanding you, them not giving a fuck about what you got to say or offer. On the flip side of that, there's got to be something amazing. What's the death of that? What's the death of my attachment to people understanding me? What's on the other side of it? As I go through it, what's through, as I travel this snake of death. How great that must be to be out of that once you get out of it. The only way you get out of it is not to attach to it. Don't focus on people not understanding you. They're not. The world hates you, be grateful. Why? There's many examples why. Because it's going to affect you. Instead of them having to deal with themselves, it's going to be them having to deal with themselves and you having to deal with yourself. because you became a match to that energy they are putting out when you let confusion step in, when you let anger step in. You feel what you feel, but when you internalize and don't let go, you become that. Even when you outwardly do something in anger, you become that. You become that. And I'm not getting into karma and all that other stuff and reincarnations. That wasn't my experience. It wasn't something I saw. I'm not going to deny it. I'm not going to say I believe in it. I'm just going to say, if it happens, it happens. If it don't, it don't. I don't need it. I have everything I need. If I need another life, I will have it. Another life in this body. Or another body. Well, definitely another body. But, we have everything we need. No one goes hungry. It's only our perception that makes us feel hungry. You want to stay in this body, the body needs to eat somewhat, I've heard there's some brethrens that just survive on air breathing. I always thought that was cool. I love to eat though. But I always thought that was cool. I'm like, how in tune with the universe and everything else, creator, God, supreme awareness, supreme consciousness, intelligence, source, whatever you want to call it. Yahweh, Allah. Doesn't matter. Names don't matter. It's just how we try to grasp, how we try to communicate an idea to someone that we name something. Back in the old times, it seemed as, from what we read, that they were feelings. They felt these things. They were telepathic. They didn't talk. Tower of Babel. They weren't talking, to telepathic. They were using these energies to communicate far distance. Kind of like we do with Wi-Fi now, except it was organic. Wi-Fi, holograms, all the shit. Astral projecting. It's basically like a hologram being sent, which you can do now with the technology we have, except it was all organic. It started off organic, now it's more logical. And those energies are going to keep fighting until you integrate, which is fine. Integrate the feeling with the technology. I'm not saying go out there and become a cyborg because that's the way things should be. No. Listen to your inner self. Listen to your inner self. Don't fight the energies. Integrate. What can harm you? God is all powerful. God allowed us to be in these bodies, to be aware of ourselves, to feel. There's much learning to be done on any plane you can think of. Much learning. And so being mindful, I believe, is a big first step. Be mindful of everything. Be mindful why you sit like this. Be mindful why this person came over to talk to you and say hello. Be mindful of everything around you. It's not coincidence. If you believe it's coincidence, you will have evidence to prove so. If you believe that things happen to you, you will have evidence to believe so. And you will confirm it with that evidence until you die. And find out something different when you die. And find out something different. Or in your mind, if it's something the same, you're not going to come back and tell us. When I was, full on Christianity, which I'm not down in Christians again, just to say. But when I was really into it and I would have a conversation with someone who wasn't Christian, they're talking to me about death and all this. I'm like, you go to heaven or hell, you're judged, and that's the end of it. That's what I was taught, and that's why I relate. And they're, said things that are logical. There's nothingness when you die. I've seen no angels. I've seen no demons. People are fucked up. That's what it is. Nothing pulling strings. No greater power. We're here on the mere fact of chance. A bunch of nothingness came together and made a big explosion, and then here we are. Evolved from a fucking ape. I believe that. all I can say to that is, we'll find out when we die. When we die, we won't come back here to tell who was right or wrong. And that's the end of the argument. Follow the argument to its death. And then what you find, let that be the truth. You know, I died many times in this trip, in this ceremony. First time was the hardest because what I thought would work didn't work right away. They didn't go right away. I said God is love, compassion, and just accepting everything. And I've heard voices. I'm like, you sure? You sure? You sure? You know you're dead, right? You know you're dead, right? God is love. Is he? Is he? Is he? You sure about that? You sure about that? You know, just in that tone, the way I'm talking to you, that loudness was what I was hearing. And it's like, okay, I need a break. Thought, heart together, and I got a break. Not out of fear. So I can tackle this from empowerment. Took a deep breath, put the shades back on, went back in myself, and I said, compassion, love for everyone here, family members, friends, then myself. Gone right away. And, you know, I know I said this before, but when you connect your heart and your mind together, which is something I've heard multiple times, and actually the early morning, right before I took the ayahuasca, I heard it from a volunteer too. Your heart and mind connected together, and you can do anything. If you master your mind, you master the world. Jesus conquered the world before he even got here. Physically. He was already supreme being. He was already high up. So high up the ladder. He chose to come here. He chose to inherit a physical body and show us the way. The way. And it's not like do as I say. It's like inner journey. This is what this is. And this is all his experiences. It's not him just talking. He had disciples with him. He had people that gathered. They were seeing these things. They were believing. Because for them, in that time, education was poor. Females weren't allowed to do, anywhere near as much as the males, including study. And they were being taken advantage of, elementary school student probably has more knowledge than they would back in those times, and he made a complicated thing like the law, the Torah, the law of the universe, law of nature, law of karma, which is cause and effect, basically. You reap what you sow. He made a simple thing. You reap what you sow. What does that mean? Cause and effect. But he didn't say cause and effect to them because, how would they relate to that? Cause what? Cause and effect. You reap what you sow. These are, shepherds, farmers. They plant, an apple seed. They're going to expect an apple tree. They're shepherds. They're guides. Spare not the rod to me doesn't mean beat your child. Come on. You ever seen a shepherd beat a sheep? A good shepherd beat a sheep, and Jesus said he's a good shepherd? Beat the sheep because they went astray? No, they would leave the 100 and go get that one. Or I guess leave the 99 and go get that one if it's 100 total. So yeah, we got a lot of work to do, and accept it all. Accept the contrast, accept the failures, and be grateful for it, and compassionate for those who've journeyed and failed as well. Because how else do we win if we don't fail? How else do we conquer something if we don't fail? It would be no conquer. It'd just be, this is what it is. It's normal. no matter how good something is, eventually you'll be bored of it. Rich people in a palace that knows nothing but the palace want to get out and live as a common folk. People in the common folk want to go and live as in the palace and have luxury. Eventually, no matter how good or bad something is, you're going to want the contrast. And when you do, you will have big growth potential. You only grow through contrast. If not, it's just one way. There's no growing. You're just flatlined. You're dead. To be stagnant is to be dead. You're flatlining. Contrast. Up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. Same thing. So embrace the contrast, love it, compassion for everything, no matter how horrible it may be. No matter, drug addict parents and someone got murdered, someone got killed. I'm not saying glorify these things. I'm not saying glorify it. I'm saying if it's affecting you, then it is you. It's not just them. It's not just something they did that you can't get with. No. Now it's you. Why? Because you allowed it to affect you, and now you have to deal with it. So that would torment you. Things jump when you're matched to it. It's like changing a channel. If I want the Weather Channel, why would I put on sports TV? Or if I'm listening to a radio and I want R&B, why would I put on rock channel? You get what you're matched to. Whatever you dialed into, you will hear. Now, a big part of why we're here is to learn how to change the channel. And get closer and closer and closer to what we really are, who we really are. Why are you here? You're here to be. It's that simple. I don't want you to take my word for it either, though. I don't want you to believe me. I want you to think I'm full of shit. Someone who just newly tripped on some DMT ayahuasca drink, and I'm out my mind. I will love it if you think that. Love it. Why? Because maybe something I said hit home. Why? Because you're pushing it away. If you're pushing it away, you're resisting it. And if you're resisting it, it's going to persist. It's going to pop back up again. And if it keeps popping back up, eventually you're going to pay attention to it. And when you pay attention to it, you're going to want to see the truth in that. When you want to see the truth in that, you're going to search. When you search, you're going to find. When you find, you're going to have the opportunity to experience. And when you get the opportunity to experience, you will have your own lesson, which reveals